Hi, I'm Savannah Campbell, and I'm one of the 2 reading specialists here at Abington. And today I'm going to take a couple of minutes to talk to you about syllable types. I know that you're incredibly busy and there's so much going on your plate, and I'm not trying to add one more thing. I simply want to do a quick explanation about the 6 different syllable types and why they're so important to teach to our children. I hope that you will bear with me if I make mistakes. I'm recording this live, and I'm sure that there is going to be some times that I jam up on my words, just like I just did now. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen and get started. So I'm calling this the 6 syllable types, the road to decode. So inevitably when I talk about the 6 syllable types, people say something to me. What they say is this: well, I'm a great reader and I never learned the 6 syllable types. As a matter of fact, I don't know what they are now. And you know what? It's probably true. And for our children, some of our children might not need to learn the 6 syllable types. But what we know is that over 30% of our children struggle to read, and systematic and explicit instruction in phonics is something that can help them to become better. Another thing that I always hear is, well, it's just the pendulum swinging back again. It used to be whole language and now it's phonics again. Well, kind of true. The difference is that now, unlike back in the 70s and 80s when this debate was raging on, is that we have brain science to support this. We now know through brain science and the science of reading how children learn to read, and explicit phonics instruction is a critical part in that. So one of the people in the forefront of understanding all this research is a man named David Kilpatrick. I've only got 2 slides about the research, but I think these quotes are really, really important to help us understand why. So I promise I won't take much time. He says, if broadly applied, our best interventions could take the number of struggling readers from about 30 to 34% of the population down to about 5%. And the percentage of students with the more significant reading difficulties and disabilities could be closer to 1 to 2%. That is huge. And he's saying that if we do these things that we know research says is best practice, it can happen. So here's another quote from him that says what it is. So in each of these studies that had highly effective outcomes, so he's looking at 30 years worth of research, sometimes more, researchers provided 3 things: intensive phonemic awareness training to the advanced level, intensive phonic decoding training, and substantial opportunity for reading connected text. So today, we're going to talk about that middle component. All 3 are crucial, but today is just about that middle component, and it's only about a small part of it. So all of the English language can be divided into 6 different kinds of syllables. And if you help your children understand these 6 different kinds of syllables, they will be able to better decode. So a closed syllable. You can start teaching closed syllables and the language with closed syllables all the way back in kindergarten. Our 1st grade Orton Gillingham word study starts teaching closed syllables in 1st grade. A closed syllable is basically this: you have one vowel and only one vowel, followed by 1 or more consonants. It's a closed syllable, and the vowel sound is short. Some examples: cat, itch. See, it has 1 vowel, but it has more letters after it. And then look at fantastic. Fantastic is a multisyllabic word made up of 3 closed syllables. The next syllable type is an open syllable. When a syllable ends in 1 vowel, it's an open syllable, and that vowel sound is long. So some examples for that include go, remote, and focus. So closed and open syllables, when you're in the older grades, you can often teach together. And actually, by the time you get to 3rd grade, I would teach the first 3 syllable types all at the same time. So the 3rd syllable type that's really important for kiddos to know is the magic E. And the magic E says that when you add an E to the end of a closed syllable, it makes the vowel sound long. So the E can jump over 1 letter and only 1 letter to make the vowel sound long. An example would be take, slime, flute. And what I always have my kids do is they draw an arrow from the E to the letter that it's making say its own name. Okay, and you can say the E kicks the letter to make it say its own name. You can call it the magic E, the silent E. Doesn't matter, just know that this is a kind of syllable that the children will come across. Now, why are open, closed, and magic E so important? This is why. Over 60% of our words in English are made up of open, closed, and magic E syllables. So can you imagine, even if kids just had those first 3 syllable types, they would be able to read over 60%. Closed and open and magic E syllables are not just simple one-syllable words. They make up much larger ones, like complete. Complete is a closed syllable with a magic E syllable. Sudden, 2 closed syllables. Microwave, my is open, crow, open, wave is magic E. Educate, ed, closed, you, open, Kate, magic E. So you'll see once you're able to understand these, you'll be able to better know how to pronounce the vowel sounds and how to break these words apart. The next kind of syllable is an R-controlled syllable. So when an R follows a vowel, we call it R-controlled because it alters the sound of the vowel. Some people call it a bossy R. I call it an R-controlled. Either way, it doesn't matter. Kids just need to know that an R after a vowel is going to affect the vowel. So the 2 easiest ones to teach are AR says R and OR says OR because they have distinct sounds. For example, cart. Lord. However, IR, ER, and UR all say and it's much more difficult to discriminate. So what you can do is start with AR and OR and then move on to those other ones. There are some tricks to knowing which ones. For example, So for example, we call UR words hurt words. For example, a nurse can heal you when you're hurt. A church is where you might go when your soul is hurt. A burn can hurt you, but it's not 100%. So start with AR and OR, and then we can move on to these other ones. The next syllable type is vowel teams. So a vowel team is when 2 vowels come together to make one sound. And y'all know the saying, right? When 2 vowels go walking, the first one does the talking. And that's true 32% of the time. So honestly, it's not worth it to teach that rhyme. What you should do instead is explicitly teach students the vowel teams, the sounds that they make in different parts of words. For example, teach them that AI says A at the beginning or the middle. You can teach them that OW says O at the end of a word. So in those 2 examples, the vowel team does have, when 2 vowels go walking, the first one does the talking. And I don't know if you know this, but A, E, I, O, U, Y, and sometimes W are vowels. And so in show, the OW is considered a vowel team and W is considered a vowel. However, 68% of the time, it's not going to work, like in words like tune. So what you need to do is you need to explicitly teach them that O says oo and And then look at this. Yes, EA says E in the word eat, but EA says in bread. EA says A in steak. So we really have to explicitly teach them the different sounds that they make, and let's just get rid of when 2 vowels go walking. The last syllable type is really easy. It's consonant LE. And what you want kids to think when they come across a consonant LE is consonant LE count back 3. And what that means is when you see that, you break the syllables up from the back. Okay? So some examples of that are turtle, hurdle, sample, and couple. So consonant LE is going to happen over every other syllable. So for example, you might think that you should split it. You'll see later, you might think that you should split it after the P. No, consonant LE is always going to be together. And you'll come across this when you learn syllable division rules. And my partner Jen is going to be talking about those. So if you want to learn more about the different syllable types, about science of reading, I just have a couple of resources that you can go to. One is this Facebook group. It's called The Science of Reading, What I Should Have Learned in College, and it's fantastic. I love everything about this group. Where I got my quotes from is a fantastic book as well, and it's David Kilpatrick's Essentials of Assessing, Preventing, and Overcoming Reading Difficulties. And like I said, he takes decades of research and presents it to you. And then throughout the schools, a lot of us have been trained in Orton-Gillingham, and Orton-Gillingham supports this. So if you have somebody in your school that's been OG trained, try talking to them. So I hope I didn't take too much of your time. I really just wanted to give you an overview of the 6 syllable types, and I hope you understand now why they're important. We will have some phonics posters that we're making for you. You have your phonics note pages. You can reach out to your reading specialist, Jennifer McSweeney. Any of us, we're all here to help you in this journey. Okay, have a great day.